whispering if you enter this house. Never close your eyes, never let the darkness settle. For in the shadows, things stir, things that watch. You might think you're safe, that you're just exploring an old, abandoned place, but you're not just exploring. You're trespassing, and you are not alone. Normal, but hesitant voice. My name is Adam. A week ago, I heard stories about the old Blackwood Manor, a place swallowed by legends and ivy. They said it was empty. They were wrong. The front door creaked open on its own, like a silent invitation into a waiting throat. A long shadow, impossibly tall and thin, darted across the far wall the moment I stepped inside. It was faster than any human shadow should be. I told myself it was just a trick of the light, my own imagination running wild in the decaying grandeur of the foyer. I wish I had listened to that first warning, that cold dread that settled in my stomach. I wish I had turned around and run. But curiosity, it's a dangerous thing. It pulls you forward, deeper into the dark, promising secrets while hiding the teeth of the trap. I had to know what was inside. I had to see for myself. Down a long, dust-choked hallway, I saw it. The air grew heavy, thick with the smell of rust and something else. Something sickly sweet, like rotting flowers. Every step I took seemed to echo unnaturally loud, announcing my presence to the silence. The old electrical system sputtered, casting the hall in a frantic, strobe-like rhythm of light and shadow. And at the very end of the corridor, bathed in the flickering glow, was a single red door. It was the only splash of color in this world of gray decay, a vibrant, angry crimson. It didn't belong. As I got closer, a low thudding started. It wasn't a knock. It was a heavy, rhythmic banging from the other side, as if something was desperately or furiously trying to get out. The door itself began to shake in its frame, rattling the hinges. What's behind that door? I froze, my feet rooted to the floorboards. The banging stopped, and in the sudden, deafening silence, a thin, black hand, slick and inhuman, with fingers far too long, crawled out from the gap underneath. It flexed its spidery digits on the dusty floor, feeling its way into my world. I scrambled back, heart hammering against my ribs, and stumbled into a side room, a nursery perhaps. The air in here was different, colder. A rocking horse sat frozen mid-rock, and shelves were lined with dusty toys. My eyes were drawn to an old wooden box in the corner, adorned with faded carvings of smiling children. A faint, childish laughter seemed to echo from within it, a sound that was both innocent and deeply unsettling. With trembling hands, I lifted the heavy lid. The wood groaned in protest. Inside, nestled on decaying velvet, were broken dolls. Their porcelain faces were cracked, their glass eyes missing. Beneath them lay a pile of old, twisted photographs, families with their faces scratched out, children posed in unnatural, broken positions. Then I saw it. One doll, propped in the corner of the box, was different. Its one remaining eye, a cloudy blue marble, slowly, deliberately, turned in its socket to look directly at me. A tiny, porcelain cracking sound filled the silence as its painted lips stretched into a slow, knowing smile. I slammed the box shut and ran, blindly, into another room. This one was wrong. The walls were covered, floor to ceiling, with mirrors of all shapes and sizes. Old, ornate mirrors with tarnished silver frames, small hand mirrors, even jagged shards glued to the plaster. My own reflection stared back at me from 100 different angles, 100 panicked atoms. I spun around, disoriented, my breath fogging the glass. Then, in the large central mirror directly in front of me, my reflection stilled. While I was gasping for air, its chest was perfectly still. Its expression, my expression, slowly twisted. The fear in my eyes was replaced by a wicked, triumphant grin. A low, guttural breathing, not my own, filled the room, seeming to come from the glass itself. My reflection leaned closer, its face almost touching the surface, and its lips moved, forming words that I felt more than heard, a cold whisper that slithered directly into my mind. This house is mine. I had to hide. I lunged for the nearest closet, a massive oaken wardrobe, and threw myself inside, pulling the heavy door shut behind me. Darkness. Absolute, suffocating darkness. The only sound was the frantic, tidal roar of my own heartbeat in my ears and my ragged, shallow breathing. I pressed my eye to a thin crack in the door, peering out into the hall of mirrors. A shape was moving out there now. It was tall, impossibly so, its form wavering and indistinct like heat haze. It moved with a slow, deliberate grace that was utterly terrifying. As it passed one of the mirrors, I saw its hand, and my blood ran cold. The fingers were long and thin, like black icicles, tipped with something that glinted like sharpened bone. It was searching. For me, I held my breath, praying it wouldn't find me, that this flimsy wooden door would be enough. The slow, patient footsteps stopped right outside. The doorknob began to turn, and then the closet door slammed open. Darkness, complete and total. The lights all went out at once, plunging the house into a blackness so profound it felt like a physical weight. Silence descended, a heavy blanket that smothered every other sound. And then, from the void, a single, piercing scream tore through the quietest scream that was abruptly cut short. The story is not over. The house never sleeps. It waits, it watches, and it gets hungry, whispering tomorrow, "It's your turn." Thanks for watching this terrifying tale. If you want to see what happens next in the house that never sleeps, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. You don't want to miss it when the darkness calls again. Stay safe and check your closets.